997 055 997. Which tourist sites have you visited in Ghana before? That's the question to you. And did you notice anything that you felt we could have used tech to enhance, maybe payments or services? We'd like to hear from you. Just share this with us on the WhatsApp number 055 Now to my guests, welcome once again.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Adobea.
I'm going to start first with you, Evans. And the question I've thrown out there to my listeners, I'd like to find out from you. When last did you visit any tourist site here in Ghana?
The last tourist site I visited was in the central region.
Okay.
That would be the Kakum National
Kakum.
Park.
Okay.
Because partly I do assist tourists. I take them around, and sometimes it's not where I want to go that they want to go. The last person I am engaging actually came down from America and couldn't go to see the castle because she said she didn't have the emotional strength to do that now. So she will go and come back.
Interesting.
Yeah, but just before we came on there, I think my favorite place I've been, it's not the classical tourist site as we have it. It's a place in the Volta region called Pevetoji. And it was one of those moments I was going to turn into a new year. That's my birthday. And I just told myself that I want to have an experience of entering a new year in a new environment.
Okay.
So I arranged through a friend and went to have that experience there. Woke up in the morning, with the dawn I should say, just to experience that breeze. And it's fantastic. So yeah, that's the kind of thought we bring to this discussion, that we don't limit ourselves to what we know only, but we also look out for places that we can have an experience. I have defined tourism with 3 letters.
Okay.
PPE, not the PPE we know when COVID was around. Mine is people, places, and experiences. So when you talk about tourism, you're talking about your interaction with people in their space. You are talking about your interaction with people to understand their way of thinking, their language, not language as in fancy ever or esehe, You are talking about how they process things and their perspective to life. Places, what sentiment do they have about certain spaces? And just as we walked in, I had a lot of memories because the last time I came into this studio, I came with the late Mr. Joelate. So this place now has a different meaning for me, just beyond coming here to communicate with the world.
So there's history
There's
behind.
history personally, on
Yeah.
the personal level. Do you
And
understand?
it's the same way for the tourist sites as well.
Exactly,
There's
that's why it
history
is.
behind
So the places you go to, what it holds for you, and that's what it is. So the E is a combination of all your perspective to the people and the places, and enhancing that experience for people. That makes it. So if you go to, for example, the Kakum National Park, or we go to the Cape's Castle, it's not just going to eat fanti. It's not, but you are there to experience something, the people and the place.
Got you.
And I think the discussion we are having today is how can we leverage on technology to make that experience better.
Got it. Daniel, I'll come to you here. So based on these experiences that Evans has shared, the question I have for you is that does technology and AI have a place in tourism?
Yeah, so I think AI is one of the cool things about AI is that it is universally applicable, right? AI cut across every industry, and the limit or the potential of AI is only limited by your imagination. There's so many things we can do with AI. Tourism is just one of the sectors that I believe that AI is going to have like a massive impact.
So the question now would be, how are we looking at it having that kind of impact that you're talking about?
Yeah, so discussions like this are leaning towards like ideas where we can use AI to what? Impact some of these areas that we are talking about. So we are going to break it down. Sure, as we go along, we'll talk about some of the practical ideas
Exactly.
where AI can be applied to tourism and then the impact of
The
the
application.
application.
Got it. Got it. So now the question that I'll have for you, Evans, is that so in terms of this conversation that we are having, Daniel has mentioned that AI would have a great impact in tourism. So now, how important is it for us to integrate it in our current state? Because from your conversation, you have visited some of these sites.
Yeah.
Did you even notice the use of technology in any way? Like we are even asking our listeners right now, were there things that you saw that you felt this one we could have leveraged the use of technology to enhance something? Did you notice anything like that? Because now this conversation we are having, the question is how important is it
Yeah.
for us to even integrate technology and artificial intelligence?
Okay. You call it artificial intelligence. I call it advanced improvement. I told you I'm a storyteller. You said so, that I'm a toastmaster.
Yeah.
Now, the point about how to use technology, quote and unquote, because I find technology to be a way by which a certain instruction is communicated. So, for example, years ago, people do not know that the technology for pounding fufu was not the use of pestle and water. It improved to what we have now. Today, we have machines being used in pounding fufu. So, it is just to say that, for example, if you used to visit a tourist site and it was strict instruction that you pay by cash, and at that point, you get receipt, physical receipt, before you have entry. Now, things have moved on. So you should be prepared to use other means of making payment. For example, I saw a post recently on Facebook, and I thought it's important to mention here, where this is not funeral tourism, but the guy was making a point that he's observed every time he's been to a funeral in the last 2 or 3 years where they had the banks come to collect donations. None of them came with a POS device or even a payment platform.
You see?
So when I thought about that, I said, okay, so assuming we're going to do this funeral tourism thing that was thrown about, how are we going to improve? Because then we are going back to the same way of collecting donations. But to even think of it that a bank will be, staff of a bank will be dispatched to a social gathering of that nature, and it doesn't cross their mind that they should even impress on the family that this is a more reliable way of collecting the money, because if you use the POS, somebody came, they swipe their card, or he come and dial their Momo code and so on,
And they are good to go.
you can easily tell at the end of the day that how much came in, and nobody can dispute it. And I think it's the same idea we can translate to the tourist site, for example. I know some effort is being done in that direction, but at this critical moment, that's why I said my definition of AI is advanced improvement. Things have improved. The technology has advanced. And he said AI is universal. I work with the university. One of the things we do is to process knowledge. And the meaning of the word university is basically to say universality of knowledge. So if you tell any IT student in any university anywhere in the world that you are doing coding, the language should be the same.
Got it.
Because it is coding you are doing. So we should bear in mind that as we are going on these platforms, Facebook, X, blah, 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 and we are using them, we are becoming part of in fact, we are already part of a global community. And therefore, we should be beginning to open up to ways that will make us useful everywhere, universally. And I think the easiest way to do that is to look at it from the tourism point of view. So that if somebody comes from America, Canada, Holland, wherever, and they come in here, they shouldn't struggle to do certain basic transactions. And I think we are limiting it only to transactions, but there are other sectors or areas by which we can integrate AI to make our tourism experience far more better.
Far better, as you are saying. Momo, as you have mentioned it, MTN mobile money, and Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN, and it's really one thing that really helps. And there are times that I was just even talking about that this evening, that sometimes you even sit in Uber or Bolt, you are giving the person cash and they're saying, please rather send me Momo. So those are just seamless ways of just doing transactions, and it really plays a role. I would come back to you, Daniel. He just finished and he mentioned that, I mean, apart from transactions, there are other areas of tourism that we can integrate AI and technology. So can you talk about some of the other forms as well?
Yeah, so it's not just AI. So for AI, there's so many applications of AI in tourism. We can talk about even sentimental analysis, right? You talked about some opinion that people have or the experience they have in some areas, and then they go and place some of these things on social media.
Yeah.
Talk about it. We can analyze that information and then be able to discern what people are actually interested in. Then we will use that information to improve the service that we provide to those kind of people. We can also talk about recommender engines, right? So you want to be able to recommend based on the person's history. I should be able to tell that you like Kakum National Park or you like something similar to Kakum Park, right? Then I recommend similar areas with search services or things that would enhance your experience when you go there. So that is another application of AI. Now, we are talking about technology as well, so it's not just AI.
AI, correct.
So there is also the area of virtual reality and then augmented reality.
Yeah.
Now, virtual reality is simulating the real world in a digital space. So basically picking Kakum and putting it online.
Yeah.
Okay, making it digital so that people can access it.
I mean, that would be so cool.
Exactly.
I know, yeah.
So that is a very nice area. Then augmented reality has to do with putting digital elements in the real world. So in this space, we could have like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah telling us the story of Ghana, and we can see him live, right? So that is the difference between the two. And these are the other technological applications that we can use in tourism to enhance people's experience, because we want to help people to, one, enjoy their experience, and which will make them come back for more. And if they come back for more, it means they get to spend more money. So everybody benefits.
Yeah.
So those are some of the application areas that we can talk about.
So talking about these application areas, right now I'm thinking about it. If a business, maybe I do travel and tour, we are having this conversation on Geek Squad this evening, and the person is wondering, sentimental analysis. We are talking about how they how exactly can such a person have this as part of what they are doing as their work?
Yeah, so it will require a few things. So the first thing is for the person to start collecting data. So it's very important that people collect very good data and they don't throw their data away. I'm saying this because I've heard stories where photographers are deleting their old pictures.
Because of space.
Because of storage.
Yeah, because of storage.
In fact, it was a conversation I just had before coming
that
on
is
to
a
this
huge
show.
problem. Because the oil of this current generation is data.
It's information.
Right?
and
So we
data.
cannot afford to delete that data. That data, a lot of information is packed in that data that we can access, you can analyze, and then make informed decisions.
Analysis you need over a period.
Yes. So basically, that data is very important. Every business should make it a point to collect quality data.
We've spoken
And then
about
we need to
cloud
be talking
storage.
about it later.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've spoken about cloud storage for some time. So at least if you're listening to us, these days they've made it very cheap, especially if you have a Google account. You can purchase
Yeah.
some of the storage and save your information. Photographers, please. This one is
It's
warning to us.
it's
Don't.
you said they've made it cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice way of getting us hooked up, you know.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah. So you collect quality data, right? Fortunately, right now there are a lot of tools, AI tools
Yeah.
that you can even use, even if you are not an expert.
Yeah.
But if you want to do something advanced, then you need people with the right skill set. Okay, so education is also important right now. We need to make sure that people are educated on how to use AI, how to benefit from AI. So that is another area too that can help an individual like use AI to analyze information and then get some value out of it.
Got it. If you are joining us, we are having a conversation on how we can use AI and technology to promote tourism in Ghana. And for you listening to me, I would like to hear from you. You can join the conversation. The question is simple. Have you visited any tourist site in Ghana before? If yes, was there anything that you noticed when it comes to their services, maybe payments that you felt we could have used technology, or maybe you even saw the use of technology? We'd like you to share that with us on the WhatsApp number 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. Let us hear from you on that. We are having a conversation on how we can use AI or technology to promote tourism in Ghana. So based on what we have shared right now, I'm looking at our current state.
Yeah.
What would we say could be some of the challenges that we would face in doing this? Because I mean, there are certain countries that when you talk about holidays, it just comes to your mind like, bang.
Pep, before we came on, we were talking about it. I think generally we are not open to new knowledge. We are not open to new experiences. And that has really limited our scope. So if you ask me, that's the basic fundamental challenge across board. You know, I brought these artifacts. I'm trying to do some collection at home.
Okay.
I have a small library and some small collection. Now, I have observed over the period how some of our leaders are gradually and consciously using what they wear to communicate how they feel and what they think. So this cloth, piece of cloth I have here is called ABC. Anybody, the market women, the average young Gen Z person will not even know. Because it has the letters of the English alphabet and then also the numbers, 1, 2, 3, you know. And it was designed to help communicate the need for literacy and education generally. So if you saw somebody wearing it, immediately you are communicating that, oh, I'm interested in education. I'll give you a typical example of what I mean. Very recently, during the Head of State Awards, which was attended by the Vice President, I saw her donning this and beautifully communicating to us not just the fact that she was appearing at this event as Vice President, but telling us that I'm going to this event which is to celebrate educational excellence. Now, at the height of COVID, when our former president had to, for the first time, speak to the nation about the emergency or the crisis we were in, the cloth he wore to do that first initial announcement was a Nibran soldier.
Yeah.
Which is to say that, we are in difficult times. And I've observed over the period, not long ago, in the swearing-in ceremony of the president, you saw all of us paying attention to those Adinkra symbols.
Yeah.
Why am I saying all of this? How about picking some of these concepts
Mm-hmm.
and bringing them into our digital space.
Mm.
Such that when we are working, whether you are a graphic designer or you are a writer, or you understand these concepts and they reflect in your work. Because I feel the context is key.
Mm-hmm.
The AI tools and mechanisms, whether it's ChatGPT or, they are designed for our use, but not by us.
Got it.
And therefore, we shouldn't also forget about the downside of these developments, because our context is quite different from the Silicon Valley guys.
From, correct.
So we have to bear that in mind and rather be challenged. I know a number of the tech guys are really pushing the boundaries, but are we doing so at the scale? You saw recently the war between ChatGPT and Dixie.
Yes, DeepSeek.
So are we getting to that stage yet? If yes, are we carrying along some of our values and our concept, so that when we see it, we can immediately identify with it?
Yeah. So I think I agree with that, like, totally, because one of the things that we need to talk about here is we want to be able to preserve our cultural heritage, right? We want to build, even if we are using tech, we are using AI, we want to build solutions that is tailored towards our particular needs.
Correct.
So that is where the focus should be.
So those are some of the challenges that we are facing.
Yes, I mean, to some degree, I know some people who are actually making effort in that direction.
Yeah.
To build custom solutions that is tailored towards the Ghanaian society, right? So, for example, there is a team, Ghana NLP.
Yes.
That is translating English into some of our languages.
Local languages,
yes.
yeah.
So there are a lot of solutions like that are being tailored towards the Ghanaian society. So that is a very important point. We need to make sure that if it comes to tourism, we want to preserve our cultural heritage. So everything, whether it is technology or any other tool that is used in this space, should be enhancing or should be helping us achieve that goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one I'm going to ask you, Daniel. So talking about this right now, yes, some people are already building some solutions for us here, but in talking about the tourism, right? How can AI-powered chatbots, example, enhance the experience for tourists visiting Ghana?
Yeah, so one thing is that you want people want to ask questions at any time.
Correct.
You will not be available all the time, but AI can.
That's so true.
AI is going to be available all the time. It means that even in the night, when they ask questions about your business or about your tourist site, they should be able to get the answers they need. And that is what AI is going to, chatbots are going to help people do. Another thing too is to make recommendations, right? So we want chatbots that can help people or help define their experience or help them, move them towards an experience that is tailored towards them. People want to feel like this place is where I want to go. And a chatbot can actually help with that. It can tailor, based on the person's history, it will tailor the content that is relevant to just that person. If you're interested in this particular place, like I said before, you should be able to get recommendations of places similar to that. And that will help you to go to there because you already let's say you like animal or wildlife. And we are recommending places where you can visit wildlife, you can see them in real world. That should help you travel more or get to those places and see more of those things, right? And seeing more of those things is going to enhance your experience. And if your experience is enhanced, you will keep coming back for more, or you tell people about it. So that is how AI chatbots can improve people's experience.
Because it's very important. I mean, like I was saying, there are certain countries that you visit and it's like everything is structured. You don't really have an issue. But then the question is, yeah, we have people in the tech industry. So what's on my mind right now is it that when it comes to tourism, we've not really focused a lot of.
Yeah, I think that might be the issue. Okay, there are a few people that have started applying tech to the tourism sector, but it's not something that is common. Not a lot of people are looking into that
Like
space.
Evans was saying, we are not ready to even adapt to the new.
Personally, yeah. When you brought up this discussion,
Yeah.
I was really interested because I delved deep into tourism and I realized that there are a lot of AI application in
Yeah.
tourism,
Yeah.
and nobody's actually talking about it. So it is true. Yes, not a lot of people are looking into the space, and these discussions have actually inspired me to want to look into the space.
Because I'm
Please
going to
do.
ask you, what kind of solutions can we have to
Yeah.
the things happening?
Yeah, so I mean, some of the things I've talked about, the AR, the VR,
Yes,
and all
yeah.
that, they are all very applicable things we can actually build.
Because the example that you gave about the augmented reality, like
Yeah.
sit match, and then we're able to create, a sajefo.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just going to be a very beautiful experience.
Yes.
We will have people who visit the country. Sometimes they go and visit where he was laid. And how can we use technology to enhance that whole experience?
Yes.
Or like my client who is saying, I have to go back to America. I said, okay, you don't need to go to Cape Coast now, but let's have this virtual experience for you to have a foretaste of what the place is.
That is-
Before you come down to even have
yes.
the hat
Yes. Yes.
spoken to you, or
Yes.
I mean, somebody with a hat. I say somebody with a hat because AI can do all that you would do, but it's without a hat. That's the difference.
Because
Well, even that is debatable. But
Now
I get where you are coming
exactly,
from.
because now you are coding sentiment into it so that you can come to tell us that I understand your feeling, but really, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I agree. So one of the things that AI can help do is what you just mentioned. You try before you travel.
Yeah.
Right? You should be able to experience the place, see
Go
how
to
it looks like,
Kintampo, have a feel
and
of the
then
waterfall.
you are excited to actually go and feel it for yourself.
That's right.
You want to be able to enhance the experience. That's what I'm saying. AI and VR and all those other technologies
yeah,
actually provide an immersive experience, one that is beyond just watching videos
that is so true.
or even being physically present
Yeah.
at the location,
Yeah.
right? So like you said, at the Almina Casa, I was even discussing this with Kofi and the other guys. I was telling them that imagine even you go to one of the castles and once you are there, you have maybe a VR spectacle or something. And with that, you will be able to look at the prisoners being moved into the ship right there in front of you.
It'll give you a different experience.
Yes, it will definitely give you a different experience. So that is what we are trying. That is what AI and all these tech tools can actually help us do.
That is why we are actually having this conversation tonight, because it's very important. My sister is into travel, and there are times that she is trying to convince people in the United States to come to Ghana, and they don't get to see a lot of information. So it's really hard for her to just convince them, like, come. We have a lot of...
I was going to say that we seem to be focusing the discussion on patrons who get the experience. But I think the other side of the conversation we need to pay attention to is actors within the tourism space. Somebody like your sister. How can they
Exactly.
leverage on technology, on AI, to make their work a bit more easier?
Correct.
For example, now I do write, and sometimes it's very interesting how you can just drop one picture and prompt based on this picture, draft an appropriate script or a brief.
Yep.
And based on that one picture, you get something that hitherto you would have had to consult and call and
Honestly.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if you're an actor in the space, whether you're into a tour guide, or you are just somebody who is coordinating things for people in the space, now is the time you have to also pay attention. I agree to the extent that, as I did mention earlier, there are certain things that you cannot fall on or depend on AI because of the limitations.
Got it.
It is to help you make your work faster. Now, I told you I'm a storyteller. I give you a typical example of how I see AI. You know how I earlier mentioned fufu, right? When we used to pound fufu with pestle and mortar, and now the one that when you are done, you still have to work on it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I see it. When the AI has produced something for you, you need superior knowledge to turn it out into a form that you can present. So if your client reached out to you and said, I want to know more about tamale, I want to know more about kentampo, don't just feed your client with what AI is telling you. Use your prior superior knowledge to help the person get the best based on their request.
Got it.
Yeah.
But what you would have done in 6 days, you can now do in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
That is just so true.
To even add to that, right? So that is what like an expert will do for you. So the expert will make sure that what you are getting out of the AI is tailored towards what you actually need.
Correct.
Not just anything.
Random information.
We talk about agents. Currently, that has been like the buzzword going around. AI agent. So when you build an AI agent, you build it to perform some specific task. And you make sure that it is refined so much that it gives you exactly what you need and nothing else.
Our conversation is on how we can use AI and technology to promote tourism in Ghana. And I'm having this conversation with Evans Edujemfi and Daniel Boaji. And so far, we have shared that there are many sites in Ghana. But sometimes to experience it, we can use technology just to even make you aware of what is already existing. We've spoken about VR, we've spoken about AR. And we would need to promote the use of technology in this space. But before we continue with our conversation, we have a message, and I'm just going to read this message out. This is from Kwame in the UK. He says, wow, brilliant topic and brilliant panelist. Amazing. Joy FM. Thank you so much, Kwame, for sharing that with us. Attention. All cybersecurity professionals, CISOs, information security, audit, compliance, and IT experts. CISO Summit 2025 is upcoming. Sapient Envision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invites you to the CISO Summit 2025, the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Join us on the 9th and 10th of April 2025 at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, maximizing organizational security and efficiency. Don't miss out on the chance to gain valuable insights, explore the latest cybersecurity trends, and network with top experts from around the globe. Register now for just 5,000 Ghana cedis or grab the early bird rate of 4,800 cedis before 14th of March 2025. Group discounts are available for 3 or more registrations from a company. To register, partner, or become an exhibitor, visit www.thecisosummit.com or call the number 0572 760 472 0572 760 472 to secure your spot today. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. We will be back right after this.
Are you ready to shape the future of cybersecurity in Africa? Sapient Envision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invites you to CISO, the Chief Information Security Officers Summit, which is the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Join us for this much anticipated event on April 9th and 10th, 2025 at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, maximizing organizational security and efficiency. efficiency. Come and gain valuable insight, explore cutting-edge solutions, and connect with top cybersecurity experts, service providers, and innovators from all around the world. Register now for just 5,000 Ghana cedis. Early bird goes for a full 4,800 Ghana cedis. Remember, deadline for early bird is on the 14th March 2025. You can also get a group discount for 3 or more registrations from any company. Don't miss out on this game-changing event. Visit www.thecisosummit.com or call 057-2760-472 to register today.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Tonight we are having a conversation on how we can use AI and technology to promote tourism in Ghana, and I'm having a conversation with Daniel Boaji, a senior data scientist and machine learning engineer, and Evans Edujimfie, Toastmaster, patron, Creative Alliance Central University. And so far we have shared quite a number of things that AI or technology can be used, how it can be used in the tourism space. And one thing we are realizing is that we are not doing a lot of that. There are people, there are tourist guides, but then the question is for someone who has not yet experienced Ghana. I think that was what I just left before we went for the break. My sister working in the travel and tour industry, and she has people she has to convince before they travel to our country. There are so many sites here. What can we do? And we have shared quite a number of things, how we can let people experience it through technology even before they step foot here. So I want us to just talk a bit about how we can enhance the management and promotion of cultural festivals and events in Ghana, because it's one of the things that people really pay attention to. Sometimes when they just land at the airport, they have these cultural troops and what they are doing there. So how can AI enhance that management and promotion of it? I'll start first with you, Daniel, and then I'll come to you, Evans.
Yeah, so as you were talking, an idea was coming up.
So, I think we have to team up and partner up and just start a business or a company.
Yeah. I think we need to do that. So I was thinking about a social media influencer, but for Ghana. So it will be an AI chatbot that would promote everything like tourism. Okay, everything about the country, places you can visit, events like the one you just mentioned will be promoted on. And it should be able to like guide people, help people even see through pictures, through videos and all that, what they would experience if they come and become a part of the festivals, right? So that is one thing we can use to like enhance their experience or bring more people to this cultural event. Another thing we can also talk about is the data that is collected. We've had like prior events. The data that is collected, we can extensively analyze it so that it will help us like make informed decisions as to how best to serve the people who are actually coming down. For example, you should be able to forecast how many people even show up.
Correct.
How much revenue we can make, or what facilities we have to provide because of the number of people we are expecting. Right? So all that information can be found in the old or historical data that we have about this event.
Got it.
I think the point to add to that is, once you're dealing with numbers, because you mentioned the event and so on, then security becomes a key point. And like he said, once we have reliable data, we can easily have some surveillance and some analysis done to be able to advise on what to look out for. So looking at the last 10 festivals we've had in this area, we've had X number of cases, and therefore be careful, do this, don't do that. It's well informed. You are not just advising from a sentimental point of view.
Correct.
It is data driven, and those are the kind of conversations we need to start having. That aside, I also believe that when it comes to festivals and event, we need to begin to aggressively patronize them locally before it becomes attractive to others.
Because it was a question I asked. I mean, based on this topic, I just asked myself, we are here in Ghana.
Yes.
How many of us visit our tourist sites?
No, sometimes when you put it in that sense, it makes it look as though. So how many of us have traveled to other part of the country? It's as simple as, because
some people just know Accra.
if you want to move
Kumasi,
from Accra
wherever
to
they are.
Takoradi, you will likely visit some sites just by way of the decision to travel. It's not necessarily because you want to
What
go
is
see
it?
them.
Is it that our parents didn't teach us? Or because it's
Our
like,
parents didn't teach us. What are we
as in
teaching
that
ourselves?
traveling, because sometimes you even want to have that. I want to go on a vacation. Somebody is just saying, like, really, you're going to spend
So
money.
you see, when you say you are going on vacation, you make it
Yeah.
sound,
What is the problem with going on vacation? So you see,
So I think that's where we need to start from.
yeah.
Visiting places and connecting with the place and sharing stories about the place. You don't need to be a Toastmaster necessarily to be able to tell stories. I think the value and the legacies we can leave for people behind us is the quality of the stories we share with them.
Yeah.
I carry this
The
tote
memories
back
that
here,
we
for
make.
example.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I'm collecting, because the thinking is this: 20 years from now, when I pick this tote bag, I don't know what condition it will be in, but I'm not just going to talk about the kente design here. I'm just going to use this to tell my son what I went to experience in Cape Coast, for which I got this.
It's the experience and the memories that we are making.
That's it.
How we are using AI and technology to promote tourism in Ghana. I'm having a conversation with Evans Edu Jemfi and Daniel Boaji. We will take the quick tech fixes. We'll be back after that.
Hi everyone, I am Michelle Ejikum, and as usual, I bring you some tech quick fixes and tips right here on Joy Geek Squad. Want your phone to last longer throughout the day? Well, here are some simple tips you can follow. 1. Lower screen brightness. Reduce brightness or enable auto brightness to save power. 2. Turn off unused features. Disable Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or GPS when not in use. 3. Close background apps. Stop apps running in the background to conserve energy. 4. Use battery saver mode. Enable this feature to optimize performance and reduce drain. 5. Avoid extreme temperatures. Keep your phone away from heat or cold, which can damage the battery. And that's it. Keep your phone running longer with these easy habits.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. We are having a conversation on how we can use AI and technology to promote tourism in Ghana. My question to you, Daniel, and then Evans, this one, just give me your feedback on that quickly, I would say. What partnerships, we are talking about tourism, what partnerships can we have between government and tech companies to promote tourism in Ghana? I'll start first with you, Daniel.
Yeah, so I mentioned from the beginning that I feel like this conversation is a cut across, right? It's not just for government or for just individuals, right? We can all partner together to ensure that, one, we have a very good internet infrastructure, right? We are giving training, we are training people on how to use AI to enhance their businesses, right? That is also another thing.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation that both private sector and then public sector can have.
Got it.
Because recently there's talk about a lot of education around AI. And it's something that we all can work together, ensure that people receive quality education.
Correct.
In that space, so they can innovate more and come up with ideas that would promote the tourism sector in Ghana.
Want to see in Ghana. Evans.
Yeah, we're talking about government and partnership with. There is a classical example I like to cite.
You have 1 minute.
Current Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank, what's his name? Amakohine, is doing something on Facebook, which is fantastic. He just proposed the idea of Ashanti Fest, and guys give us ideas.
And people are
just
the power of social media.
Exactly. And I'm just thinking, if he could in less than, he's been in office for how many months now, mobilize, the last time I checked he has over 70K. I'm like, this is it. He's just using, it's not really private sector, it is government and his people. And I can clearly see it's going to happen. My only suggestion would be he should think about digital solutions in that Ashanti Fest experience, because I've seen the things he's listed, suggestions made, and I don't see anything digital.
And I think we have to be pushing
people in
there.
people in the diaspora must not necessarily come down to have a feel of it.
Got it.
There should be a totally well thought through online experience for anybody anywhere to even, okay, this is what you mean by Ashanti. Maybe I need to go down and see it for myself.
Got it. Under 30 seconds, Evans, final words, and then if you want anybody to catch you anywhere, you can just drop that information, then I'll come to you.
Final words. Tourism is a great thing. It's about people, it's about places, and it's about experiences. With technology and AI at our disposal, let's embrace it.
We have to embrace tourism. Daniel, your final words.
Yeah, so I think that AI and technology have applications everywhere, especially in tourism. And it's something that we all need to be talking about right now, as we are doing. And then we also need to be part of the solution.
Yeah,
so everybody should be part of the solution.
Everyone has to be part of the solution. This has been your girl, Adobea Biritwum, on Geek Squad. Thank you so much, Evans, for joining me, and then Daniel. And thank you for listening in or for watching us online. A very big thank you to my producer, Prince Safo, and the entire team, Mirabelle, and everyone who helped us to bring this to you. God willing, next week we will be back on the show. Up next is news by Michael Ashali, and then Overdrive by Kofi Hayford. Stay tuned.
Like a small boat on the ocean,